Welcome. So, we're going to get right into it today because we're about to challenge something we all take for granted, this core belief of modern life that you are, first and foremost, an individual. And look, this isn't just playing with words. This idea right here, it promises a huge shift in how you see everything. It's about rediscovering what it actually means to be human. So, what on earth is this life-changing difference? Let's break it all down. All right, first up, let's talk about the story society tells us, the one that's constantly pushed on us. It's a story all about separation. And, as you're about to see, it might just be the root of so much of our modern anxiety. I mean, think about it, right? From the time we're kids, we're told to find ourselves, to build our own unique brand, to stand out from the crowd. The big project is always the self. But this nonstop focus on being a separate, self-contained unit, it has a hidden cost. It actually disconnects us, and it leads to this deep, nagging sense of being isolated and, well, broken apart. So let's get really specific. When we use this term individual in a negative way, what are we really talking about? How is that actually defined? Okay, so here's the key. The individual is defined by its borders, by what makes it not everything else. It's a way of seeing people as basically interchangeable parts in a machine. You know, a data point in a poll, a number in a crowd. It's an abstraction. It reduces you to a list of qualities you share with a group, instead of seeing you in your full, unique reality. And this chart here, it lays out the three pillars of the individual. It all kicks off with separation, that core feeling of I'm me and you are you. And that, of course, leads to egoism, where my needs and wants come first. The end result? Fragmentation. We see the world as just a bunch of disconnected atoms. And you'll notice that other column is blank for now. We're going to get to that. And these are the consequences. This is what happens. When we see ourselves mainly as individuals, we stop being unique beings. We just become a member of a category. We're reduced to a checklist of labels, our job title, our political party, our income bracket. And this way of thinking, it creates that deep sense of self-containment, that profound loneliness. Because if we're just a pile of attributes, can anyone ever really know us? But here's the thing. There is a powerful, totally different way to see it. And this brings us right to the heart of this whole explainer, the idea of the person. See, a person, unlike an individual, isn't some static object defined by what it's not. A person is a living, breathing reality that is literally made of relationships. We don't just exist first and then decide to connect with people. No, we actually come into being through our connections. We are always constantly becoming who we are through love and communion with others. Okay, let's go back to our chart and fill in that other side. You see it? The opposite of separation is communion. The antidote to egoism is love. And the way to heal fragmentation is relationship. This isn't just a different vocabulary. This is a completely different universe of what it means to be alive. And the theologian Hans Urs von Balthasar says it so clearly here. Relationship isn't some optional add-on to your life, like a hobby. It's the very foundation of who you are. You were never just a separate thing that one day decided to be social. Nope, you have always been in relation, from the very beginning. So where does this thinking come from? Well, for theologians like Dumitru Stăniloae, the ultimate blueprint for what it means to be a person is the Trinity. And not as some dusty abstract doctrine, but as the ultimate reality, a perfect, dynamic flow of love between three persons. It's a reality where you have total unity without anyone being erased. It's a model that makes loneliness and self-isolation impossible. And, he argues, that's the pattern for our own lives. Okay, so if society's always trying to turn us into individuals, how do we actually learn to live as persons? Well, it's not a switch you flip. It's a journey. And that journey starts with the encounter. We only really discover our own I when we're met by a you, another person who truly sees us. That encounter opens the door for the revelation. In that safe space of love and trust, we stop just showing off our external traits, and we freely reveal who we really are inside. And that brings about the transformation. Love stops being a feeling and becomes a real power that calls forth the best in each other, helping us become who we were always meant to be. This all leads to this incredible idea called the apophaticism of the person. Now, I know it's a mouthful, but the concept is actually simple and so profound. It just means that a person is a mystery.
You can't be pinned down, you can't be fully defined, you can't be captured in a neat little box like an object. Someone can list all your stats, your height, your weight, your job, but they haven't captured you. The real depth of a person can only be known when it's revealed freely in a relationship of love.
And wow, this quote just hits so hard. When a relationship is alive with love, you experience the other person. You just know them. But the moment that love dies, what are you left with? A list of attributes, a collection of characteristics you can analyze and judge. And that's the exact moment a person gets reduced back into an individual.
So after all this theory, we finally get to the big one. The most important question. Why does any of this actually matter? How does this simple shift in words really change anything about how we live our lives? It matters because it completely flips our whole understanding of reality on its head. We've been taught to think that the basic building block of the world is the one, the single, self-sufficient unit. But what if that's wrong? What if the most fundamental unit of reality is actually the two, the pair, in relation to each other? What if connection, not separation, is the starting point for literally everything? This opens up a whole new way to live. It means your true identity, your real self, isn't something you find by going off alone to meditate on a mountaintop. It's something that's found and forged in your connections with others. And here's the paradox. Your uniqueness isn't threatened by being in relationships. It's actually brought to life through them. Your life's purpose suddenly shifts from this frantic goal of self-preservation to a much deeper one, living as part of a communion of love. So we'll leave you with this to think about. If you are not a static object defined by the walls you build around yourself, but are instead a dynamic process defined by the love that connects you to others, then who are you becoming?